welcome to a new game of Banished. We'll play through just on whatever default settings we find there. Here we go, so this is what we start with. We've got a storage barn with 30 coats, although they're being taken in, some iron tools and some potatoes, 1800 potatoes. Everyone's grabbing the iron tools and the hide coats. And we've got a stockpile here with some building materials, some firewood, 200 iron, 40 logs, 120 and some stone. Quite often the first thing you can do is just make a farm field straight away. And, if you don't need to build it, you can start harvesting as well. So we'll just find it. It's been a little while since I played the game. So there's a crop field here, and we can set the optimum size. I think it was, was it 12 by 12 or 11 by 11? Oh, let's do a 10 by 10, see how that does. Ideally we just want like one person to be operating that to start off with. So let's choose our crop, do potatoes, that's fine, and we'll get to work. Put a couple of people on working the field, and we need to get some houses down. So I put some road along here. I'm just putting some road down here so we can build some houses. Because if you see, all of these people are homeless. Now I've got the option between a normal house, a wooden house, or the boarding house. The boarding house does use up a lot more material proportionately, so I'll just put down some normal ones I think for now. We'll put them right next to the farm field, and let's just process like 3 for now, or we'll do 4, and let's get building. We'll unpause the game. Now one of the great things about this is that you can assign the job roles, and just remembering the controls, so you can just knock the screen up and down, zoom in and out on the mouse scroller, and then sort of pivot around holding the middle mouse button. And we'll just find the jobs menu. Oh, there's an event log down there, we'll put that in the bottom left hand corner, and that's our inventory, so it tells us what date it is and all of our different building materials, and if people are happy and the temperature outside. And incidentally, you can see here everyone's laying down the materials, so we've got 16 logs and 8 stone there, and people are ready to build, so we need to find that work menu. It's the event log. Here we go, here are all the jobs, the professions. So let's, here you can see we've got 8 labourers, and going to assign a couple of builders now, so we've just done that there. Got a couple of farmers already planting the field, and we're off to a great start. So the other thing we can do, oh look, it's raining. Just turn the volume up a bit. Here we go, hear that rain. Can't really hear the music in the background. Bit of a storm breaking out actually. So we can gather in these resources. So we select one of these resource gathering tab here. You can remove all the resources in a selected area, or you can go for specific ones, so we can get some trees really close by, and we'll need loads of trees. So we'll get some trees there, a few more down there. We'll get some stone. We're very nicely near stone here, so loads of stone to gather. We'll do that. And also you can collect in iron. Now we won't necessarily need that straight away, so I'll just see if there's any around. Oh, up here we'll collect a little bit. Just a bit of iron up there. And we're off to a great start. We can increase the speed of the game here. There we go, 5 times. And the sun's coming out. So the first thing we need to do really is get everyone in a house before it hits winter. And if you see above their head the house icon, that's just showing the homeless. We've got our first house built, a couple of builders in there and a couple of children, and our second house built with some labourers and some children. Okay, looking good. So we need to start thinking about food really. And one of the best ways to get food is with the gatherer's hut. It's a good one. The gatherer's hut likes to be in the middle of the woods, where all the animals are. So let's have a look. There's a good spot around here actually, but we'd have to build a bridge over the river, so we won't do that for now because that's quite resource intensive. There's an area over here that we can have a gatherer's hut, or maybe further down here. Let's do it further down here for now, because we can just continue the road down and put the gatherer's hut in there in the middle of the woods. There it is. So we'll keep it away from the city for now. We'll just put it in the middle of nowhere. Press the rotate button to put it down. And in fact, if I remember, there's a bit of stone there. I'll just build the road all the way down from up here, so we can try and get it all in a nice straight row. Yeah, there we go. Just build it all the way down to here, and that's where we'll put the gatherer's hut. So that seems like as good a place as any. Right there. Okay, happy with that. So we've laid down our gatherer's hut, and as soon as that's built, people will be happy. And look, we've built our 4 houses, but we can see we've got 2 people still homeless. So we'll put down 1 more house, and should be in plenty of time for the winter. We'll put it opposite these others. There we go, right next to the farm. And great start. We've got our crop coming in, so that'll be harvested, and it will go into the storage barn. In fact, we're harvesting already. Look at that. We're on no, we're not. That's just leftover potatoes. We're on a 53% yield, and that has to get up to 100% before we start harvesting naturally, or you can prompt an early harvest if you think you've planted a bit late on in the year, which we may need to do. It's early summer, and maybe we've got plenty of time. Now, we started off with 1,800 potatoes, and we've got 93 left in storage there. And if you check out in the houses, it's all gone in there. So we've got 211 potato there, firewood there, and got the potatoes and the firewood there. So what we will need fairly urgently in order to survive the winter and keep our people warm. Oh look, the gatherer's hut's there. Let's employ 1 person for now. Keep the rest building. We'll need some firewood and a way of chopping wood. So actually, we quickly. How much wood have we got? 107 wood, 48 stone. 56 iron. Let's gather some more wood, just with our labourers, so we don't get too short. So we use up a lot of wood. And we've got the labourers for now, and the builders. And we're going to lay down a forester and a woodcutter. So this is our woodcutter, but we'll do the woodcutter now. Put him there, so he doesn't need to be too far away. Look, I'm chopping down all the trees up there. Put down our woodcutter now, so that'll be built pretty quickly, I'd imagine, because we've got so many labourers. Build our forester down here, right opposite our gatherer, and we'll certainly build some housing down here as well, moving forward. And you can see these guys, they've got no firewood in the house, and they've got that snowflake sign above their house, so they need some firewood pretty quick, so we'll get that done. We'll bring some firewood in. Just need to chop these logs that we've got, 163, that we're making into houses. Now the other thing we'll need is a hunting cabin, so we can certainly lay that down and get going on that. And again, the closer they are to forest, the better. The more animals are going to be around, so we'll put them down there, opposite our gatherer, but further down from our forester. So 1, 2, 3 buildings in a row. And now, because all these buildings are so far away from our main sort of camp, where we've got our storage facilities like our storage barn and our stockpile, it's absolutely worthwhile building a storage barn and a stockpile up here. Now, stockpiles for building materials, so for logs and wood, so that would do well up here near our woodcutter, which we'll just employ as we've just built, and near our forester, so they can just put the wood and the logs down straight away when they come back. So let's do that. Stockpile is around here somewhere. There we go. And I quite like to do quite a big one. Do a 5x5. That should be enough. And they'll just clear that area, and it should be pretty quickly usable. And we've built our forester, so let's employ a forester. So the forester will both cut down and plant trees, and if you need to focus on one job or another, like just planting or cutting, you can disable the other action to just focus on planting only, or just cutting if you're short of wood. And let's put down a storage barn down here. because it will be in between the gatherer there and the opposite the hunter there, and so they can just put their materials straight into the storage barn. That helps efficiency, and that is the start of our kind of food and production little village outcrop over there. But what we could do is build a little road going out there, so we can build some housing going off, which we'll do. There we go, and we'll have nice ready access to the back of these buildings here, which will build a road down there. And we can build some housing down here as well. So we'll build one house, so we've got a bit of excess for people who want to move in. Build a house down there, and also when you build housing near production buildings, and we'll just employ someone at the hunting cabin there. When you build housing down here near all these production buildings that are well away from the other housing centre up there, people will move in who have local jobs, so it's well worth building houses if you do outposts like that. Look at it. Great little community being built. And straight up, straight as an arrow, into our new village centre that we've just created with all our housing, stockpiles and field. How much of the potato did we bring in? Maybe should have harvested that early, but great signs already. We've got 358 potatoes. We've got mushrooms and onions coming in already from our gatherer. But look, we're getting quite low on our hide coats, and yeah, we're using our iron tools. So I think maybe clothing might be starting to become a priority sooner rather than later. But we make clothing with leather, and we've got no leather at the moment, so it's well worth building that hunter early on to bring back the leather. Got a bit of stone here. We've not got much stone in stock. If we have a look at our materials, we've got 75 firewood, which is great. It's going to keep our people warm over the winter. 87, 90, so that's brilliant. We've got a few logs as well, which is fine. But we've got 8 stone, and we've got 58 iron, so plenty of iron. So we need more stone for sure. So just get some people to manually bring in the stone. The only other way you can bring the stone in is by a big old quarry a bit later in the game. So we'll collect the stone by hand for now, and that will hopefully go into this stockpile that's here. We'll just have a look at where we've landed. Actually, we've not had a good look around the map. So here we go. I'll keep that in the top right-hand corner, and looks like we're okay. We've got a river obviously going along the top of us, and a big one to the left. So this is where we could potentially do some fishing around here. So we could expand out here to the left and do some fishing. And because I don't know how successful fishing is on these very small rivers. Or we could put a bridge over here and have a little fishing colony in the north, maybe. Got a good little zone to expand to up here. And a big old lake to the right-hand side. We've got some mountains that will come in handy, and we can maybe do some mining later in the game. A lovely little zone here that we could put another little village into, maybe for hunting and gathering. Okay. A very nice little map for us to play in with its own challenges. So we've got 48 firewood. We're staying on top of firewood just about. Need to make sure we don't run out of wood. So let's gather in a few more logs and clear this sort of area around here. That'll do. Don't need too much wood there. We've got 80 food, 80 stored food. So not a huge amount, but you know. Sure, it's been worse. So actually we could hire another gatherer. We've only got one, so we'll put 2 gatherers on to boost the food. And at this stage of the game, where we've built quite a few of the basic buildings that we need, it's a good time to take a little bit of a pause and just see if anything needs balancing. Like what we're doing, putting a few more people on the various different jobs. So we've got 6 labourers. We've got 2 builders, and we're not actually building anything, so we've got the option of taking them off and getting more labourers, but keep them on for now. We've got 2 farmers. We can take them off because they're not doing anything in the winter, but you know, we've got an excess of labour for now. And yeah, let's have another gatherer then. Let's go on to 4 gatherers because we can afford the labour. And we've got 1 hunter, 1 woodcutter, and a forester. Let's hire another hunter. we've got 75 wood, 95 wood, so I think we're doing fine on wood cutting. And food's looking good as well. We're on 336. Just built this house down here, and people have moved in, so I think we could certainly build another house. Build one down here, so we go further down. There we go, it fits in nicely there, and another one there, so 2 more houses. That's how we'll expand our population. There's no immigration here, it's just children being born and growing up. And the way that some people go is to build a school early on so that we can educate our population. And we'll certainly do that as soon as we can. But in the meantime, we need other buildings, so I'll put down a tailor because we've just got our first leather that's come in. Well, we're low on food, but here we're planting that farm field with our potato crops. The materials are being delivered to this wooden house here. So let's lay down a tailor. Forget where the tailor is, over here somewhere. There we go. And we'll put it right next to the housing over here in the original part of the town. And also, so we've got 5 coats, but we've only got 16 tools left as well. Remember, previously I said it was 21, so that is going down. We need to keep our people in the tools, otherwise everything will grind to a halt. So we'll build a toolsmith in a moment, but we'll gather some more stone because we're getting short on stone. Gather that stone there and a little bit near here, next to the stockpile. It's great to gather resources next to stockpiles if you can, because the resources get brought into those stockpiles, so that's efficient. And we'll have a look for the blacksmith. Now let's check out the resources needed for some of these bigger buildings. The tailor needs 32 logs. We've got 76. It needs 48 stone. Wow, that's a lot of stone. And 16 iron. We've got the iron, but we don't have the stone. So we need to focus on gathering a bit more stone. So we'll just gather a bit more there, near that stockpile. And there's some stone over here to take to that stockpile, or whichever's closer, really. And we're getting everything delivered. So we've got, oh wow, we've got all the stone delivered that we need. And we're building 11, 12 out of 80 build points, and we're going to be building that pretty quickly. We've got plenty of labour at this stage of the game, plenty of people, and it's looking good. We're growing our village very nicely, very quickly actually. So this is our production zone now with 3 houses, and there are people in each of the houses, so that's really quite quick expansion. Let's hire a tailor and turn some of that leather into clothing. And what we can do early on in the game is that we don't need to have someone on the tailor full time. You know, we can take them off and maybe put them on smithing instead. So we'll build a blacksmith. Here we go. Here's the blacksmith. We'll lay them down along this bit of empty road in the middle, and we'll make good use of that. So this sign above our woodcutter means that we're on the maximum amount of fuel, of wood, that we've set this limit for, which is on 200. So I'll just raise that to 400 for now, because it's good to have a slightly higher limit. We'll just have a look at where we can expand out to next. So we could expand out down here into this area, or to the left over here. And if we expand out over here, just thinking we could go a bit nearer to the potential of some fish, which would be nice to have. Let's have a think about that. So we could expand this road out here. And that would, yeah, we'll do that. We'll lay the road down at least anyway. And it's important to have a little bit of a plan, an expansion plan if you can. That's not going to bring us right out into the middle of this zone, so we'll just bring the road out to there. It may be that we need to bring it down a bit. Could be good to have another gatherer, or look, there's our tailor. Used up all the resources, so we've got 13 coats now. We've bumped that up a bit. We need, let's hire another. Oh no, we've got 2 hunters, so the hunters will be bringing in the meat and the leather slowly but surely. I think we've kind of deforested a lot of the area around here, so we'll just get our forester on planting for now. And I'll just see, there's an area up here that we can clear the wood from. I mean, you need so much wood at the start of the game that you can't always, you know, maintain it sustainably to start off with. So we'll just grab all these, and then we can certainly grab these in town, and then these next to town. But I won't put too much gathering on in one go, because then it can take away from other jobs. We've got our blacksmith built, so let's go down and have a look. Nice looking building there. Oh, and you can even see the anvil in the middle, so it looks pretty nice there. We'll employ a blacksmith to see if we can make some tools. So they're after logs and iron, and we've got the iron there. We've got some logs there. And we've got our labourers on bringing some more logs in, haven't we? And we've just lost our inventory toolbar up there. Let's bring it back. There it is. So we've got 8 tools left, so we've built our blacksmith just in time. And actually we could do with a bit more iron, because that's going to be getting used quite quickly now. Just see where it is. There's some up here, but actually there's not much iron locally. There's some down here near this stockpile, so we'll collect that in, and there's some right down here, so we'll do that. Collect it in. So we've got 6 labourers, which is great. It's helping us to bring in all these materials and deforest these areas, and take materials to all the different locations. The storage barn we've got here is working very well. We've got some leather just come in, so we can activate our tailor again, just briefly, to process that leather. And the stockpile's 26% full with loads of firewood, so you can see that it being opposite the woodcutter is great for the firewood, because they're chopping logs into firewood, and they've just got a very short distance opposite to lay that down. And also that stockpile acts as another sort of gathering zone, central location. So we're looking good there. We've got our forester just focused on planting, and we could hire another forester, but we're focusing on lots of labour to bring in the materials. And see here, this sign above the tailor means that they've stopped working, they've run out of materials or something. We'll just see where we can start laying down the next part of our village into the expansion. So let's check it out. Firstly, I think we'd start off with a gatherer. So it's here in the food tab on the right hand side, and it shows you the circle of influence for the gatherer. So we'll put it round here. So the first one's here, the second one could be here, and their boundaries are just about bounced together. We'll do that, and we'll lay it down there, and we'll join the road up now with it. So we'll just zoom in a bit. Difficult to see where you've laid it down with all the trees in the way, but we'll work it out and put a road right up to it. So the road's here. So you just kind of look where the red icons are, where it goes red. There. So that's the bottom of it. And we'll lead it up to this road and build this road across. Down, yep. So that should all link up, and we'll soon see anyway, because it'll get a little bit cleared. And yeah, just looking to manage everything that's going on. We've got, oh wow, so we're getting really up to speed with firewood. We've got 404. So that means our woodcutter would stop working when it reaches its limit, and it's important probably to do that, because we don't want it using all the logs that would then be used for building as well. 47 stone, so that's okay, but that's soon going to disappear once we build our second village over here. What we could do is build a house on the corner just up there, so we've got some people nearby for labour. And I'll show you what I mean by that, because these 3 houses will most likely be supporting people who work most locally. So here we've got a hunter and a gatherer, and so here's the hunter and here's the gatherer, so that's good. Here's the gatherer and woodcutter. Okay, so gatherer, woodcutter there, woodcutter just here. And here is the hunter and the forester, so another hunter and a forester just opposite there. So they've all got very local people, and it means that they don't have as far to go to work and to go back for resting and so on, so it's much more efficient that way. Got our gatherer employed here. I mean, we've just built our gatherer's hut. There it is, in amongst the woods while it's snowing. It's looking good. Oh, and incidentally, this down here is herbs. So when that's collected a bit later in the game, and there's some mushrooms down there for the gatherer, and some onions there. So there's all sorts of little bits going on in the forest, and we're just building our house that's out on a limb there for the support of our village that's out there. So we're just building through that, and that'll be completed shortly. 6 labourers still. We're managing to maintain our labourers, and actually if you look at the job roles, we've got a total of 4 gatherers who were all the way over here, but now we've split them in 2, so there's 2 gatherers at each location. In my mind, I think that's probably an advantage, because it means they're not going to be exhausting the resources so completely in each of their areas, but also it kind of spreads risk and spreads the diversity of the gathering, because over here we've really depleted quite a lot of the wood, so there'll be less to gather ultimately, but we've got a bit of a fresh zone over here with plenty of wood, of trees, so that might be a bit more efficient for a while, until we build up this area over here. And look, we've got someone who's just become an adult and is working as a labourer, so we've got 7 labourers, and that's very welcome to boost our workforce like that. Oh, and amazing, look, we've got 51 tools, so we can certainly take our blacksmith off and save that labour, that work. We've only got 12 clothes, so we can keep employing a tailor when we get the leather in. And just looking at the food situation, so we're going into late winter, and we'll have just harvested this field of potatoes, and we've only got 99 food, which is getting quite low, so we need to just do a bit of balancing in the game and hire a few more gatherers. And we'll just employ as many people as we can, and we'll do more hunters as well. We can employ 1 more hunter. So if we look at the job menu, it can be a bit easier kind of managing it from there as like a master management system. So we can have a total of 8 gatherers, so let's do that. And we can have a total of 3 hunters, so let's do that. We can have more foresters, but we've only got 2 labourers and 2 builders now, so let's take the builders off because we're not actively building anything now. And that leaves us with the 4 labourers. Sorry, I mean to keep the professions tab open. But 4 labourers, and we've got loads of people on food now. We've brought it back up to 266 food, down from well under 100. We've got lots of tools. We've got lots of firewood, but it's been higher. We've only got 221. So more houses, more wood being burnt. If we look at our latest house, we've got firewood there, roots and venison. Very nice. Quite like to eat roots and venison. Be pretty happy with that. And we've turned all our leather into clothes. We've got 16 clothes. Could do with bringing a few more bits of leather in, but that'll balance out, and we'll bring more and more in. In fact, we'll certainly build a hunter over here. We could repeat the model that we've got over here. So maybe not necessarily another woodcutter right now. Although, saying that, we may need one. Cool, 529 food, and we've just had another person become a labourer, and a new child born, so lots of people coming through, and, boosting our population. If you have a look at here, this is the number of children, this is the number of students for when we get a school, which we'll do shortly actually, and this is the number of adults we've got who are able to work. We'll build a school maybe down here somewhere, and what that does is that when children kind of mature to a certain age, instead of becoming an adult straight away, they will go to school, become educated, and when they leave school, it means they're just going to be a more efficient citizen. So we'll put this here, where it's kind of in the middle of these 2 residential zones, so that makes sense. We'll build the school. We need 50 logs, which we might struggle with, 16 stone, which we've got, and 16 iron, which we've got. We could do with having a bit more iron, so I'll just have a look around. There's some down here that we can collect. So we'll do that. And down there, let's just collect a little. I think that's stone. That's the iron. Collect the iron. We could do a collecting stone. So we'll do some up there. It's a bit of a clear area, and we could do a collecting a bit more wood. So this is kind of out of the range of where we've got our forester. And we've got a forester just just planting. Yep, I think we just had him on cutting. Meant to make it just planting. We've got the log limit as 200, which is fine for now. Well, we'll up that a bit anyway. We can't have too many logs. Enable or disable the cutting down of nearby trees. We'll disable it and just do some planting and reach the limit on the woodcutter, which is good. They just don't have any. No, they don't have any logs to cut, which is not good. We're going to cut down a load of trees up here. We'll build another forester here actually, so we can get a bit more wood in. So that'll be important. Forester is going to be around here. And we'll put them opposite the gatherer. Down in this area just there. So forester, when the forester's built, we'll employ them and do cutting and planting. So there's lots of trees around this area. School's about to be built, and that's looking fantastic for a first episode. So thank you for watching so far. Join me in the next episode, where we're just going to expand further. We'll expand this village over here to the west, and we'll employ a teacher and start to get an educated workforce. Thank you for watching.